Good morning. Welcome to Cat's Cottage. I'm up this morning with a nice hot cup of chicory coffee. Love that. Okay, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. It was nice. It was pretty outside, and gosh, I had a pot roast and still got more eggs. And look what I used. I used a egg carton. Uh, all the baskets I got around here, fancy baskets too, and I used an egg carton. But anyway, um, yeah, yesterday my little duck came back. I was so pleased. Came to say hello. Well, really, he's probably coming to say hello. I truly believe that. But they do the males kind of shop around. Uh, I learned a lot about ducks through the years, and the males kind of shop around looking for a good place for the new wife, you know. And it's so interesting watching them when they come in and how he tries to find spots for her and get her to like it, and she don't like it. He tries to find another one, and sometimes the females are real Karens, as they call them, which I usually call women that are acting up Lindas. That has nothing to do with anybody on here that's named Linda. As I had a sister named Linda, and she was, I'll say a word, fussy. But anyway, um, yeah, he's coming in here checking it out, but he knew who I was when I called him to feed them or when they left. I would holler out real loud, Ducky, and they would respond to me. So that's what I did yesterday, and I knew that was one of those males. But yeah, that was a real blessing to me. He hung, the video cut off on me. That's why looked like it did. Uh, but he hung around a while, and then he flew off cutting through the trees just like he did before when he was a little fella. And it's really sweet. They're real messy now when they come in. They they poop and they need feed, and so they make a mess with that. But anyway, it's not really the feathers. I used to think when I was a kid it was always the feathers that made a mess in your lake, but it is the pooping, especially around a concrete pond. But anyway, that was sweet for me. It really touched my heart that that duck had come in here. But anyway, I don't know what I did yesterday. I guess I just tried to enjoy myself. Just relax and enjoy myself. It should be kind of overcast today. It won't be quite as pretty, but anyway, I don't know if some of you might not have. I didn't say on the little short video. I didn't even know I was going to do it. I was just in there making that stuff, and I realized, oh, I better, you know, put this on film. Didn't even know how it's going to turn out really, but I just put a little vinegar in a cup in one of the bowls and some water, just plain tap water, and then dropped the egg in. And the eggs weren't hot or anything; had been sitting in the kitchen, so they were cold. But that's and you just keep it stirred so it won't make a round spot. But that and the dye that I bought over at Dollar Tree would not dissolve; it just sat in there. The little dye tablets. So I got out my old uh, food coloring pack and dropped color in the water then, and then it took. So uh, I don't know. Won't buy those little packs anymore to make dye eggs. I just use my old standby. What the vinegar does, of course, these have been in the refrigerator, so they're cold. But the vinegar sets the color on the egg. And somebody mentioned to me they had colored eggs already. Yeah, I had chickens that way. My daddy gave them to me. And when I went for a visit, he gave me some chickens like that. And they were low cholesterol, is what they are. But I don't have chickens now. But yeah. And people seem not to be worried about their cholesterol anymore, or what is it? They were just all up in arms about eggs, and it didn't affect me. I just kept eating them like I'd always ate them. But anyway, I had a good Easter. Hope everybody did too. But I had a roast yesterday, and I can't. Y'all know the price. Ooh, excuse me. That roast I had, just about that thick. Um, $22. Okay, that's enough to, you know. Whoa. And then the one that I normally cook with is the one that you need to cook a roast with, the size of a roast. So it'll cook the fat in that, and all that'll cook down into that liquid. The normal roast that I buy, about that thick, big around, that's a lot of meat, really, when you start cutting it. But $63, gosh almighty, it's going to take a while for these groceries to go down, if they're ever even going to go down. I think maybe the way you could do it was to buy it after the season and put it in your freezer. But that's just a piece of meat that big around $63. Beef roast beef. Um, Unbelievable. Let me ask, do y'all believe that all that? Have y'all seen all those videos, all those Chinese crying and holding their head down and screaming and hollering and all that? Do y'all believe that? I think it's propaganda. Because it's supposed to be because of the tariffs. Um, I don't believe that. I think that's all made up propaganda. That country over there is so good at that. They are so good at lying, deception, uh, trying to make everybody in the world feel that they are super. They have more people than anybody. They have more riches than anybody. Blah, on and on and on. And that all those people all of a sudden are crying and have no food and have no nothing all of a sudden, just that quick. Uh, the tariffs didn't take away the food. Um, just like yesterday, uh, I didn't need that $63 roast. I really didn't need the $22 one. You don't really need certain things. You can do without, and probably be healthier for it. But uh, I click on that stuff sometime and I look at, and those people are acting. You got a grown man that just faces all toward. It's probably AI doing that. And in China, the minute they said that there wasn't going to be any more food, there wasn't going to be any more, and they went that day and cleaned out all the stores of all the food, canned, packaged, whatever it was, total stripped out. They got that food, they still got that. Um, I don't know. I just don't believe that stuff. I think they're lying. And they also lied about how many people they have. They found that out now, and that's true. They've been lying about how many people they have. They want to think that there's so many of us over here, don't even attempt anything. We're like an army, and you don't want us on you, you know? Uh, there's certain fears, I think, that are put off on the world, especially Americans, Europeans too. Uh, like the Russians. Russians are coming, it's always in the movies. The Russians are coming, kind of like the Indians. The Indians are coming. But I listened to this one lady, and she had gotten a hold of the plans, China's plans, by this Qing leader. And those are ridiculous, really. He wanted to bring all his people back to poverty so he could get Europeans to feel sorry for him and join with them against America. But, we saved those Europeans. We saved them. And they owe us. Uh, they owe us. They owe us. And hey, we'd do it again. We would do it again. Save them. And we'd probably save the Chinese if they were truthful. They're not truthful. They lie, and you know, I don't know. It's always been that way. China would starve their people, run people out of their homes if they'd been there, and build this huge high-rise area, and now let nobody move in, just for display, just for America and the world to see how rich we are. And everything they do have, their huge skyscrapers and all them lights and all that, that is through us. They they have been living off of us with their high tariffs. I don't know why people don't understand it or don't get it. We've been in America here. We've been working like slaves and turning in our money, and paying that high tariffs for their crap. And then, they build everything rich. That's why they're crying. They don't want to quit. They don't want the money to stop. But it's time for us. It's time for us. We need to improve our bridges, our roads, our schools. We need to improve our America. And we got to get with it. I don't know that I'll live long enough to see it, but I hope I do. I hope I do see everything improve. Um, it's until you see these videos about southern towns, how they're pathetically impoverished, how they're so poor. It talks about their income. Okay, everybody's moved out of that, and the people left are just barely getting by. Let's get it. Come on, let's get it together. Let's get our America back on our feet. And I don't know why they think we don't need factories. We need factories. These people need to work. I got people living all around me that don't even work. They live off of off of me. They live off of all of us. You know, all those years me getting up, feeling good or bad or however I felt, sick, I'd go to work. I was just working to give money to other countries. We were supporting all those other countries. We need to support ourselves. And I know all y'all agree that, yeah, we need to repair these bridges. We need to repair these roads. You know, these schools. Fix these schools up. I ain't talking about making them modern and all that. I'm just talking about making them nice, you know. Uh, People sit around in their houses and they don't even care. They don't cut their grass. They don't do anything. They just drive back and forth down this road. This is all they do. They do nothing to their place. And I don't even know why they're living here. I don't think people from apartments that have lived in, were raised or lived in apartments should move into a neighborhood because they don't know the responsibility of it. Like these people behind me, nice couple, both got good jobs. One's a policeman and one's a teacher. And they moved in that cute little house. That lady fixed it up so nice. And they moved in there. And it started changing slowly. Slowly. Oh, they didn't cut their grass always. They left limbs on top of their house. Fell from the tree, left them up there. Um, didn't no planted a few, put a few flowers out on some shepherd sticks, and then that stopped, and just the house just sitting there and going down again. Um, Same thing all around me. This man straight across the street, he painted. When I painted my house, he turns around and paints his house the same color, and the trim and everything. But he didn't paint his house like I thought. He painted the front of the house, what I see over there. I had no idea the rest of the house wasn't painted and the paint's peeling off. My husband said, I said, I don't know why he had to paint his house. He said, he never painted his house. He painted the front so you could see it, just to aggravate you. And that's what he did. I had taken my shutters off and I painted my house black. And my house now has changed to a gray color. The black just went away from the sun, I guess. And he painted his house the same color and gave himself a red door over there. And he was just happy as a lark. Well, that irritated me, so I got my shutters back out. I painted them green, and I got a man to come over here and put them back up for me. Well, that kind of irritated him because he didn't have any shutters, and he would have had to have bought some. But it was ridiculous for him to paint his house the same color as mine, and we're facing each other, and it looked like an apartment complex. And I don't know, it's ridiculous to do that. But anyway, it is what it is. I guess I'm rambling on about all kind of different things. I got things to do around here, just little piddling things, and the outside, I just pick out something I'm gonna do, and I do that. I'm not trying to work myself to death and clean the whole place, which I can't do anymore at one time. I just pick a little area and fix that up, little corner, clean it out. Like the other day, y'all saw me raking the debris off of my Rebecca because I'm They're about that high right now, and they're going to come up and have, that yellow flower. Well, I thought I had one here, but it's dried up. That yellow daisy looking flower, Rebecca. And it's a perennial. It's very dependable, and it'll come back. If you don't abuse it by hacking it down, it'll come back every year. And it does need sunshine. But I got that in my circle out there. Around first, I got the irises, white wild, and then I got the Rebecca. Y'all probably noticed that I lean toward wild things because good stuff don't grow here. I have to find things that rodents don't eat, and that'll grow through this water that I have here that comes down and floods. But yeah, that's what I got that cleaned out, and um, just pick out little areas, clean it out, and you don't have to do nothing every day. Every few days you can do something. But a lot of people here don't do anything. I don't know. I don't see their backyards because I'm on the corner and he's on the corner, and I can't see his backyard because it's bricked up. He has a brick fence, front and back. But yeah, I bet they're. I understand some of them have cars in their backyard parked up that don't run. I mean, holy cow! You know, you can't see them because they got a wood fence. You don't know they're back there, but I was told they're back there. That's not supposed to happen. That's actually one of the town rules that you don't do that. But if nobody complains or says anything, I guess nobody will ever know. You know. I'm not going to complain because my my yard's a little junky too. You know, they might see my yard as junk. Because I have things sitting around in my garden and stuff. They may see that it's not a garden. They may see that as junky backyard. People view things differently. What you're looking at them as something, they're looking at something else. But right now, I got a lot of roses blooming back there, and I have a double gate here out there at the back, and I have to watch people. They'll either walk. It's hard for them to get through the gate now, but either they'll walk by or they'll pull up in their car. They go back there and they'll pick flowers, and they usually do it around Easter. Mother's Day is the worst. They get back there and um, pick my flowers without even asking. Um, even a relative said, "Oh, I'm gonna pick me a bunch of those daffodils for my wife." Really? No, I don't pick them. I leave them in my garden so I can see them and everybody can see them. There's no picking. But I have caught many back there picking, and some of them can't pick the flower, the rose itself. They'll pick the petals, take the petals with them. Uh, People are something else, aren't they? I wouldn't dare go in the yard and pick somebody's flowers. I wouldn't even ask them, could I pick a flower? I might say, can I look at your garden? I might do that, but I wouldn't dare, you know. When I had vegetables growing, I've had people come in and get vegetables, like they're supposed to, you know. Um, it's, I don't know. I wish, and I've always thought this, that someone would build a group of houses or an area for gardeners, just for gardeners, People who like, it didn't have to be big gardens. People who like flowers and planting flowers. And, you know, that's what I always wished I could find neighbors that like gardening, flowers. I've had some lie to me, you know. Um, lady across the street before she bought her house. Oh, me and my mother are big gardeners. We're really going to fix this up. We're going to put some flowers. Well, first thing she did, she cut out all the azalea bushes, which blew my mind. Never did anything. Lady next door asked me, I told y'all about this. She wanted me to come get her calla lilies so I could have them if I dig them. She was going to re-landscape the whole front, have somebody come in and landscape it, and could I dig out her calla lilies? She didn't want them in the group. Well, sure, I love calla lilies, and they were red. I said, I'll get them. I went over there and dug them out. Then she came back and said, oh, you forgot some. They're sprouting up. I said, okay, I'll go back over there and look again and dig some more. So I got them all out. She ain't planted the first seed, plant anything. Ain't nobody come over there and done anything. People lie to you. They tell you they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Man across the street's been telling, he's saying he's going to put a waterfall in his front yard. And been telling, he must have been saying that for 20 years now. I'm going to dig this waterfall and it's going to trickle down, because he's on a hill, and it's going to be beautiful. You'll see. Then I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to move to Florida. And I'm like, oh, whoa, that was the good part. But anyway, I would love to be the neighbor of these people that's on the TV screen now. Uh, it's individual gardens is the ones I like, where it's not a company, people. I like those too, but the ones I like is individual people. And they'll serve some tea, especially the Japanese people. They know how to do it. They'll serve some tea or whatever, coffee, I don't know what all in. But, and, they show women flocking there, but if you think about it, she might have called up and said, hey, y'all come on, we're going to video. If you want to be in the video, I want to look like I got a lot of customers. But anyway, they do a good job. Yeah, that's the way to go for a garden. And I think the English do it. They like gardens, and they don't even call their place yard like we do. We say yard, front yard, backyard. They say garden, in my front garden, my back garden. They don't even begin to say yard. I don't know where yard came from. Must have been when they were measuring the property. You got so many yard, and it just kind of stuck. But anyway, they're into having a flower garden, and I like that. I like that too. Yeah. So I don't know. I probably have a little English in me from my daddy, uh, but I don't have all English. My mother, when I was young, she used to. People say, "Well, Hazel," that was her name. Well, Hazel, what, what's your bloodline? What's your nationality? Because my mother was dark complected and had black hair, and she was short. She was 4'11" when she was young, 4'10" when I came along. So I was the middle of the pack. And she'd say, "Oh, I got a lot of mixture. This Heinz 57, that's what I am." And I thought, well, that's no answer. I was wanting to know too. And my daddy would say she was Mexican. And it'd make my mother mad. She said, "No, I'm not Mexican. If I was, I'd say so. You know, I'm, I'm all those other people." And she was right. There's a lot of different people. And when I did my research, we got a lot of people. Um, I think her last part of it is Dutch. Uh, she has they were Dutch when her side of the family came over. Um, so they were Dutch, Norwegian. They were, what am I trying to say? German, Dutch, more Dutch than anything. And uh, she had hazel eyes and was dark complected, black hair, black wavy hair. I envied that hair. Um, but yeah, I've researched my family on her side too, along with my daddy, and she goes all the way back to where those people are riding those reindeer. What they're called now? Yeah, riding them reindeer. I'm like, holy cow! Did you come from there? How'd we get in Texas and you came from there? But anyway, I got a lot of ancestors of all different directions, and the one that most surprising, Henry VIII was a lot Scottish, and Henry VIII. Oh my God! Oh mercy! And if I think about it, I'm kind of struggling with what he had. As he got older, he got fat, and had a lot of problems. So I seem to be going right down here. Anyway, I like to blame it on him because he killed his wives. Let's do this. Let's do that. Of course, things they did back then weren't quite. Now I'm making excuses here. Things they did back then weren't quite as shocking as they are now. Uh, Chopping somebody's head off is just the way they died. So, hmm. When I see that in a movie or something, I think it's not the worst part is not having their head chopped off there. The worst part is the people watching. Why would you want to watch that? That's what, or a hanging. Why would you want to watch a hanging? You know, my husband tells me that his mother told him when she was a little girl, she saw somebody, they burned them alive as punishment. So that's pretty rough. But anyway, I'll quit talking about that stuff. Gosh, go from Easter to morbid stuff. But I'm just yakking away, and I don't know if I'm gonna put this video out or not. I mean, I'm talking about crazy stuff. I must have ate too much roast beef or something. Too many, too many eggs. But I had a good Easter, and I know a lot of y'all did too. And you're really sweet. Oh my gosh, thank y'all so much. Y'all are too good. Nice things you say, and that's really nice. Thank you so much. That's all I can say is thank you. Really, really sweet. Very kind. You know. Um, I don't know if I've ever been kind to other people. You think about that. You think, are you kind to other people? Like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm nice to people, but oh, have you really? You know, I guess I have. Maybe I just can't remember it. You know, but I'm sure I have. I think in my mind, I think kindness really is just leaving people alone. You know, mind your own business and don't complain. Maybe that's it. Don't say nothing. Just ignore it. And what's the purpose of saying something against it? You know, I think that might be my kindness. Um, but anyway, I'm getting up to 35 minutes here talking about nothing. Um, but I'm trying to think of something y'all might have asked me. I don't know. I can't remember now. I looked through the comments to try to make sure I put a heart on everybody. That means that I read your note and I appreciate it. Um, some of them that are in foreign languages, I have to wait a while. It gets in there until I can hit that translate button. But, you know, eventually I am able to read it. So, and very few, sometime a troll will work its way in and be ugly, but they usually leave. They don't stay long. They make their nasty comment and then they go on. So, but yeah. Um, and that storm, I haven't looked at the news in Missouri and up and around in that area. I hadn't looked to see if anybody got any damage. I worried about it here. It was seemed to be close. It kept drawing and getting really hot, and then then that would let up a little bit, and the wind was just whipping around. So, when you have that kind of weather, you think about tornadoes are close. So, but anyway, I better close because I'm heading on too long. I know people don't want to listen to this chatter for all that time. If you're on your way to work or whatever, y'all be safe. Pay attention to the road, because you want to come back. You want to get in your car in the evening time and come back to your family or your home or whatever it is where you go. And God bless all of y'all. And y'all take care of yourselves. Bye bye.